Hello and welcome to our podcast, The Art of Experiences, where we are talking to you today from our base in Dubai, the UAE. So as some of you will notice, we don't have the George Michael lookalike Arjun with us today, but we're joined by these two lovely specimens. On my left we've got Dominique, who you guys have heard and never seen. I think she'll probably go back to being seen and not heard after this. And then next to the delightfully delicious Ravi, we've got Taha. So we've got these two very special guests with us today, and we hope that they're going to give us valuable insight and give you valuable insight on their thoughts and on the topic today, which is, Ravi?
Expo 2020 Dubai.
Fantastic. Okay, so those of you that don't know about Expo, I think perhaps you've been living in a cave. But anyhow, I will just fill you in. Every 4 years, I believe, although at this particular time it's 5 years because the pandemic caused a delay in the opening ceremony of the Expo. There's a World Expo. It takes place in different cities around the world. This particular year, it's 2021. Although the Expo is labelled 2020, as I said, it was due to happen last year. We have the honour and I must say the delight to serve the world from our base here in Dubai, where the Expo 2020 opened around in the beginning of October. So our podcast today will be telling you all about our experiences. We've been a few times and essentially we'll be trying to tell you guys what's going on there and encouraging you to come and visit. It really is the most amazing experience, and I say that without any bias. I was a skeptic, I went to it, it turned me around the moment I arrived. It's absolutely fantastic. So maybe as Dom, I think, is the one that's visited more than all of us, perhaps Dom, you can fill us in a little bit about what Expo is, what it's like to go there and the kind of experiences that people can expect when they go.
Yeah, I mean, just to give you a quick preview about the beginning of Expo, I think it started 50 years ago, or in 1950s.
Okay.
Yeah, so it started in the UK, if I'm not wrong. Just put in the comment below.
That's a news for me.
It's actually wonderful that we've managed to, sorry to interrupt you, Dom, replace the well-researched Arjun with the well-researched Dominique.
Arjun.
She's well prepared.
We miss you, Arjun.
Arjun, you need to be scared.
Yeah.
I'm joking. But yeah, I mean, going to the Expo, I didn't expect anything because I've never heard it, I've never seen anything like that in other countries. But I think last year was in Milan. And when I went there, it was massive. Here in Dubai, it's massive. You can't just see one pavilion in one day. You have to go there probably 10 times. And I think the good thing about the Expo is at night it just boom and it just shows more events and people dancing on the street. It feels like a carnival for 6 months.
So Dom, as the Expo is, for those of you that might not know what an Expo is it a collection of pavilions from different parts of the world where different countries have an opportunity to showcase what their culture, their trade and various other things. And I understand alongside the various country pavilions, there are some other business-related pavilions, and maybe Ravi, you can talk to that a little bit about what we saw and what we've experienced there.
Yeah, I think this is the biggest show on the earth, as they say. The Expo 2020 is supposed to be the biggest show on earth, and I did get to visit there quite a few times, and every time I have visited, it's absolutely mind blowing. The sheer scale and the size of it is mammoth. It makes a human being feel so small. And I would really like to thank the leaders of this country. The way they have put everything together, and when you see all the arrangements, right from transportation to getting to the Expo and within the Expo, I think it's very well planned and very well managed also. So a big hats off to the leaders, and as usual, when Dubai commits, Dubai delivers, and that's the famous quote from His Highness Sheikh Mohammed bin Rashid Al Maktoum. which I saw on one of the non-country pavilions, which was DP World.
Oh, did you?
Yeah, and it literally, I was kind of, my hairs were raising up when I read that quote, when Dubai commits, Dubai delivers. Talking about the non-country pavilions, I think there are quite a few. One which is of DP World, showcasing their journey and the history from when they started actually managing the ports right up to mobility and what they're trying to do with their country and with the whole world where they are touching upon. Apart from that, there are quite a few which is Enoch, I believe Emirates Pavilion is also there. Then there is something from Etisalat as well.
Okay.
And there are a couple of few more which I'm not able to recollect. Just to let you know, I mean, I being a designer and architect, I think the first and foremost attention gets drawn to the structure and the aesthetics and the way it is planned and everything, And just to give a very small insight to our viewers today is that, there are, first of all, Expo is pretty huge, and to walk around the Expo itself is a huge task. You can finish off your couple of days exercise over there of walking.
Yeah.
But at the same time, there are at various places there are these sitting benches which have been done, very nicely designed. And I happen to read a small plaque which is next to each and every bench which is there, and the benches are actually the calligraphy from Arabic. So if you see the shape of the bench is actually Arabic calligraphy in the plan that they have done.
Very nice.
And this is just a small unique feature of this Expo. Everything has got a meaning to it, and everything is so well done, beautifully done, and design oriented.
Interesting, Ravi. Taha, I mean,
yes,
I
I'll
guess,
just push back.
One of the things that we didn't mention at the beginning of the podcast, and those of you that follow me on LinkedIn will know because I've been writing about it recently, about the diversity in our business. And I would like to just highlight the fact that we've got people from 4 nationalities here. On the podcast today, we've got Taha, who's from Syria, we've got Ravi from India, we've got Dominic, who is from the Philippines, and myself, I'm from the UK. So really, the theme of Expo, in our own small way, we try to be as diverse as possible by including opinions from all across the region and indeed all across the world. So have you been to Expo, Taha, and what have you read about it, and what is it that makes you tick?
Yes, actually I've been to Expo, I think the past month. The nice thing about it is that it still keeps the base of Dubai, like the Arabic calligraphy as Ravi mentioned, but mixed with other regional or other cultures from all around the world. Basically, I think this episode should be a follow-up to the previous episode that you guys were talking about inspiring architecture, because I literally went there and I just walked around all the pavilions, getting inspired about how the pavilion is built, what's the architecture that has been applied on that building to make it look that good. So basically, the amount of culture mixing and the amount of inspiring architecture, let's say, or inspiring design that has been put in that place with the amount of time that it has been built with, it's something that hasn't been done, I believe, in the whole world up until this time.
Yeah, it's good insight. I mean, actually, you're right. I mean, and again, hats off to the leaders of this country and the people that organised it. They had the vision to turn a piece of sand into something that is amazing, and for it to appeal to a young man like Taha and an old man like me and everything in between, I think is something that really is a testament to the way the space has been designed, from the arrival experience in this expansive parking areas and lots of shuttles ferrying you backwards and forwards to the entrances, to the way they manage your entrance into the space, and they make sure that there are golf buggies available for families, they make sure that there's refreshment available, places to sit, that it's cool. Some of the days still here are quite warm, the winter's coming, so it cools down a bit for someone like me with Northern European blood. Anything above 24, 25 degrees and I'm sweating. They've thought about that, and they've created these spaces where you can sit and relax, and it's cool, and you can enjoy what's happening actually inside the pavilions and importantly outside the pavilions as well. Really incredible. One thing I noticed as well, again I've been following some of the press about this, is that the number of dignitaries and celebrities that are going to visit the Expo is, again, it's off the scale. We were there the other day, Ravi, for business, and we were told that the Prime Minister of Brazil was visiting. I saw the other day that Usain Bolt was there doing some exercise programs. And the list goes on. Boris Johnson, I believe, has been there from the UK, and various other world leaders and dignitaries have been through the gates of Expo. Again, Dubai is delivering where they made a promise and everybody was like, whoa, really? And everybody got really excited and really behind it. And I don't think any of us believed it would be as good as it is. It's off the scale.
Yeah.
Sure.
And the good thing about it is it's not like it just shows what your country gives, but it's like it gives also the feel of how trading was during the beginning.
Yeah.
So the history of how these countries do the trading up until now, how it becomes like modern and using technologies for it. Thailand is one of the pavilions I would recommend. Yeah, it's really, they innovate so much from the beginning. So yeah.
Dom actually made a short video for us a few weeks ago where she'll be embarrassed and we won't show the video.
Maybe a little
shall we say for internal consumption only? Where she visited the pavilions of all of the people that work in our company in this region, and the diversity was amazing. You know, the British pavilion, the Saudi pavilion, the Indian pavilion, the Colombian pavilion, the Australian pavilion, the German, the French, etc., Japan, and so on and so forth. So completely different, but yet the glue that binds them together is just incredible.
I think when we talk about different pavilions from different countries, I think this is absolutely a great place to understand what the country is all about, because not often you get to travel to each and every country in the world, and you always have some kind of a perception about what you have read in the news, what you have read on the internet today. And when you visit these pavilions and the way they have showcased about their not only about the history and culture, but also about what they are doing in the present and what the future looks like, you know. And one of the pavilions which I would recommend is Saudi Arabia. You know, I mean, the way they have showcased their story and the experience of all about it. They haven't forgotten their culture, but at the same time they have shown what they are doing with technology, what they are doing with the latest innovations, and so many different places of Saudi Arabia they have showcased, which I thought, wow. I mean, I've been visiting Saudi Arabia for the past 5 years continuously, and the only places I know is Riyadh, Jeddah, and probably Dammam and a few other cities. But the kind of places they showcased, and the history behind it is completely amazing, you know. And also to wrap it around the entire multi-sensory experience that they have created is something really nice.
Yeah, I mean, Taha, you're working at the moment a lot in Saudi on projects there, and you know we hear a lot about Saudi being the future, but what Ravi's saying is true. Huh? I mean, you as a young Arab, you know, you must feel the pulse of change in the region.
Yeah, actually, that he's mentioning Saudi Pavilion. I've been there, and the whole concept about it is that if each pavilion is using technology in order to propose their culture or propose their history. So basically, in the Saudi Pavilion outside, you're gonna find the ground that if you move over it, you know, the lights keep following you, which is something very interesting. I actually found it out by mistake. Like I was going around with a bicycle and I was seeing people running around. And the light is just following them below them, and like you can look up and there is stainless steel mirror finish, so you can see yourself.
Oh wow!
Yeah, so like the whole building is inclined, and then you're sitting below it, so and the light following you. So basically, what I think is that this Expo 2020, they have made the whole concept about it is that they have merged technology with the history in order to present the future culture. So basically, they're using each pavilion or most of the pavilions you go to, and Dom actually can support me more with that because she spent more time in Expo 2020. So most of the pavilions you go to, each pavilion is proposing their own technology, doing their own events, but at the same time keeping their own cultural and historical view. So that's part of gluing everything together to present the future.
Doesn't it make you feel proud? I mean, people used to look to the west or to the east to find the future, and what you're all describing, and I've experienced it myself, is that you go to this event, and you feel like the future's actually here. It's not. It's not in the east and it's not in the west. It's right here, right in the middle of the world where we are. And it's young people like Dom and Taha who are driving the future. These are the innovators and the leaders of tomorrow. It's so exciting to feel that energy there, and we're lucky to be part of it. I think.
Actually, it is something that has been done in a very fast pace. Like, look back 10 years ago, what I still remember, that you go around in the world, you go to the West, and nobody knows about this region unless what they heard about the news and what they've seen in the movies, which is totally opposite to the reality, to be honest. Now, everybody is looking towards this region. Everybody is looking towards what Dubai is doing, what Riyadh is doing, what we are having events in the GCC. So that's something actually to look at in this limited time that has been through.
Also, I mean, just to kind of build on that, we're seeing lots of major sporting events coming to this part of the world. Even this very day, we have a Formula One race in Qatar. I believe next week it's in Saudi, and the week after, or 2 weeks after that, it's in Abu Dhabi. I mean, what more? Can you imagine to plant a stake in the ground? And then next year we have the Football World Cup in Qatar, and that's without all of the other things, the golf and all of the other things that are happening just in the sporting sector over here. It's really a place where it's going places. I was watching the TV with my wife the other day, and we were watching a sporting event, and we looked at the advertisers in the sporting event, and they were all from the Middle East, all of them. And my wife said to me, "So, where are all the non-Middle Eastern brands? None of them are there." And again, it just underlines that this part of the region, this part of the world, is kicking some butt at the moment, and long may it last. We've got well-educated, driven, young, bold and brave people like these two guys. I'm not going to include you in that, Ravi, because although you're younger than me, driving innovation.
In some form, I'm young.
So, Ravi, you went to the Expo at the weekend. What did you see when you went there?
I think it was an amazing experience, as I said before as well. And the most worrying thing for me was that I was going with my family, with an old mother. And two young kids,
Thank you for that, Ravi. We'll just scratch that, Mrs. Deshbrook. Sorry that he referred
No, but
to you.
I mean, the fact is that you have to walk. I knew that you have to walk a lot in the Expo, and how are you going to go around? But the facilities over there are so nice. They are most friendly for people of determination, and not to mention that each and every pavilion has got facilities for people of determination.
That's fantastic.
Not only that, but because I was with my mother, we didn't miss any of the experience that a normal people would have.
Great,
so everything that we went to, the KSA pavilion, we went to the UAE pavilion, we went to India pavilion, then we went to I think we went to the German pavilion and the Al Wasalum, so many places. We didn't miss any of the experience that a normal people would do, and people of determination couldn't do it because they have some special access or something like that. So the way it was planned is so very well done. Not only that, the crowd management is very well. You don't feel crowded at all, but I believe there were at any given point of time probably more than 50,000 people in that place, or more, maybe more. Maybe more. And the fact is that the whole this Expo 2020 is divided into a couple of districts, and they are based on the concept of what Expo 2020 is all about, is sustainability, mobility, and opportunity. So they have these three legs wherein these districts are there, and then they have these two supporting legs, which is called as Jubilee district, and the other one is called as Al Forsan district. Al Forsan district is the one where we went to DP World Pavilion.
Oh, was it? Okay.
Now in that also they have got all the parks where the children can play. They have sitting areas where you can just sit and relax down there. They have got this huge takeaway kitchen where people can just buy and then sit in the garden, have the food. And in terms of pavilions, I think there were certain pavilions which were really, really, I believe, popular. Because you could see a lot of queues over there, especially Egypt, KSA, Italy, I believe America, then Germany. These were the pavilions which were India, which were there. They were having a lot of queues outside, and some of the pavilions which really struck out was, I think, one was Indonesia. It was quite. I mean, in terms of design, language, and in terms of the way they have, it was kind of swag.
Yeah.
It carried that swag with them. In terms of architecture, I like Colombia also actually.
Yes,
they
have a rainforest, don't they?
Yeah, they have a rainforest with all these container kind of structures they have put together, and not to mention the DP World Pavilion also, because it's amazing, the huge escalator which goes on the top floor, and then you come down on the ramp, and then you have this huge show where they have this concept of flow, and how the flow flows through their business, and how they're affecting everyday lives of each and every citizen that they are working in each and every country. So overall, Nick, it was a very colorful experience, and I would like to visit again. I think it's not enough that one visit is or two visits are not enough. I mean, there are so many other pavilions like Korea Pavilion which we saw, but we couldn't go in because of the time constraints. There's so many other, like Alif. There's a pavilion called Alif, which is into the mobility district, which is also good. Or Terra in sustainability district, which is also good, but we couldn't go because of the time constraints.
I think the good news, though, guys, is that we will. I think it's on the 5th of December, is it, Dom?
So 2 weeks.
We'll be broadcasting live and recording our podcast from the Expo. So we'll be able to show you a little bit more of what the Expo actually has to offer from our point of view, and we'll be taking you around there. But I mean, Ravi, you said your mother went with you, and did she enjoy the experience?
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
She absolutely loved it, and the overall atmosphere, just the overall atmosphere, people walking around, having a good time, enjoying the ride on the bicycles, walking around, looking at the different pavilions. Even if you don't go inside the pavilion, even if you're just walking past through it, it's an experience in itself. And even all the walkways are kind of semi-covered and stuff like that. And as I said, at least there's so many small design elements they have done. Even like the water fountain that they have designed is actually designed by an Arabic architect, and it's got some meaning to it.
Wow.
So it's really nice. It's really nice the way they are done. And I just one last thing before I keep my mouth shut.
It's usually me that does rabbit.
Is I think I'm just flummoxed with the scale and the way they have done it. How because a plan is as good as it is delivered.
Yeah, that's true.
And they have delivered it to the fullest.
Yeah. As an architect, you talk a lot about what you see and what you feel.
It comes naturally to me. Actually, when I go there, I start touching the surface and this and that. But it's really a treat, It's really a treat for all of us, I think there's so many things that you can go and learn about so many countries. There are 190 country pavilions,
Wow.
And I've not even done 10% of it.
I understand as well that the people that work in the pavilions are actually from the countries that the pavilion is from. So if you go to Peru, there are Peruvians.
True.
If you go to
True.
Argentina, there are Argentinians, and so on and so forth.
Absolutely.
Which again is something I think really great. It's great to see that kind of diversity here, and it's again another rubber stamp, if ever one was needed, that this part of the world isn't perhaps the way people perceive it in some of the more, shall we say, other markets around the world, who perhaps have people who haven't actually been here. It's a very tolerant, very diverse, very open place where we celebrate everything, actually. There's only something. I'm sorry, Dom, you wanted to say something?
No.
Maybe I can just hear you. She's just panting in my ear. That's what I'm saying, really that interesting.
I'm just agreeing.
Oh, yeah, okay.
No, I mean, aside from diversity and what you see from the culture.
Were you whispering?
No, I also want to talk about the food.
Oh,
yeah.
yes.
Which I
That's
like.
the main subject.
Yeah, that's why I like to go to this expo every week. If
Wow.
I can do it every day, I would go because I want to try every food on each pavilions on each countries because it's nice. I like that.
Dom's one of those annoying people that can eat whatever she wants and doesn't ever gain an ounce of weight.
I know.
So if you follow Dom on Instagram, by the way, we'll give that another
Below.
plug.
I'm joking.
You'll either see her
Yeah.
eating or working out. So that might be the answer.
But now it's more towards the eating.
Eating.
Yeah.
I thought you gained a bit of weight recently. Anyway.
Actually, the good thing about Expo is that you can do anything. Like, it's actually a place that you find big businesses being done there, big government contracts. You find the Crown Prince of Dubai meeting the Crown Prince of any other country, and they are doing that big business deal for two businesses around the world.
Yeah.
At the same time, it's a very good place for families to hang out, for families to go around. Like just a couple of days ago, my family were speaking that they're gonna take my nephews who are 5-6 years old.
That's awesome.
There, and they're going to enjoy it because the place itself is family friendly rather than it is a very good place to make business. So they have actually made a very good job in mixing everything together.
Yeah.
So whatever the let's say the purpose you go there, you can find it.
Yeah.
Really cool. And you guys, one of the zones in Expo is sustainability. And one of the things we haven't talked about is that we've made this amazing event here. Well, not we. I used the royal we. It wasn't me that did it. Somebody else far better than me did it. Created this amazing event. And then sustainability talks about what happens after March, when unfortunately the Expo finishes. So, guys, what's happening then? I mean, is it going to stay there and get the dust, or what's going to happen?
I think as much as what I have read and what information I have gathered is that they are going to make it into Expo City.
Oh, okay.
And as you must have seen, none of the structures are like a temporary structure, and you cannot have a temporary structure for 6 months. So they are going to convert it into Expo City, and they are going to actually conduct various other exhibitions and everything.
What a good idea
for the future. In fact, there are hotels already there which are functional inside the Expo.
And they have really good pool as well. Like you can see the
food again.
No, the pool.
Oh, so you said food.
So entertainment and food.
Pool and food, I'm good.
So Expo City will, I guess, continue with some of the pavilions, Ravi, and things?
I believe so. I think I'm not 100% sure of how many pavilions will continue.
Right.
But definitely there will be certain pavilions which will continue.
Okay.
And also the way they have done the Al Wasl dome, the dome which is in the center, which is a kind of epicenter of the whole space, will continue to conduct various exhibitions and shows, and it's a treat to watch because of the digital projection that the dome has on it.
I saw this on the internet.
Yes, it is absolutely amazing what they have done, and I was trying to understand what they have done and but it's really something next level.
So Taha, what does Al Wasl actually mean? Is it an Arabic word?
Actually, it is an Arabic word. It means some kind of connection.
Ah.
So Al Wasl, it's the connection.
Right.
So it sits
Now
at the
it makes
center of
sense,
Expo and it connects
Ah,
all
okay.
Expo together.
Okay, now that makes sense.
Yeah, there's even an area here in Dubai called Al Wasl.
Oh, that's right.
You know, the good thing about Al Wasl, the area in Expo, that it's actually, it has centralized, it's kind of an air conditioning, but something for, so I went there, it wasn't that much cold, like the weather was like 31 degrees or 32 degrees, but at the center of Al Wasl Square, when you go there, it's still, you'll see some nice breeze coming.
Really?
So that's something they have made sustainable, especially that we're gonna have summer later on after winter. It's going to be more than 40 degrees here.
Right.
So that's something that's gonna stay there and people are gonna enjoy it.
That's fantastic.
Yeah.
I mean, because the whole the way buildings used to be air conditioned here,
Yeah.
obviously they didn't have air conditioning generations ago, so they used to design the building in such a way so that the air would pass into the building and then funnel down into the places where people were living and keep the space cool. And I guess they've used a similar principle.
Exactly. You use the better words.
No. I mean, I was just thinking about how they might do it.
That's exactly.
Surely they haven't got somebody out there, with an air conditioning unit blowing cold air in. I was just thinking about how they may have done it. So Absolutely fascinating. I think, I don't know how we're doing for time, Dom, but it feels like we've been talking for some time.
Oh, perfect.
Exactly 30 minutes.
Before we wind up, I just wanted to mention one more thing, which is pretty much representation of this part of the this region, and moreover the culture that comes from this region. You know, first of all, one thing which I'm trying to figure out, how these people try to get so many people to work in the expo. I mean, if you see the number of staff, whether it is security, whether it is related to any pavilion, but not the pavilion staff, the expo staff, which is standing outside, people roaming around, amazing. I mean, each and every nook and corner, you'll have the security guards there. Not only that, they are so polite. And so welcoming, you know.
You feel like a tourist.
Absolutely, you know. I mean that absolutely adds to the experience. I mean, I'll just give you a small example. I was standing there waiting for my family. They had been to somewhere, and I was obviously with a wheelchair, and my mom was not there. So the wheelchair was empty, and I was standing there for 15-20 minutes. I was standing there. I think 3 or 4 people approached me just to ask, how are you, what are you doing, do you need something, are you going somewhere, if you're going to go this ramp, don't go this way, go this way, because this is not the slope for the ramp, and so many nice things, you know. And I think this is a representation of the region here and the culture here, you know. You just feel at home, you know, and they make you so comfortable. You ask anyone, they politely and patiently respond to all your queries, and probably the same query must be asked by probably other 100 people in the same day, you know. Still they have the patience to respond. So maybe there is some kind of training which they have undergone, but I would like to believe it's more about the culture that gets imbibed automatically to the people who stay here for longer, you know.
You know, the great fact is that most of them are volunteers.
Yes.
So they're not even getting paid over there. So
absolutely.
Yeah, they are actually giving out the culture of this country. And coming back to what you were talking as you were with your mother, sometimes I go out with my grandmother, and she's also from the people of determination, which is a nice thing that the government of this country has called them people of determination. So I literally stop anywhere and you see all the cars stopping. If you want to cross the road, or if you just want to, people are so nice and they are so willing to help, especially if you have an old person with you, let's say. And that's in the base culture of this country and of the Arab region, as I see it.
I think maybe you guys should go to Expo with me then.
No, I actually thought that Ravi is the one using the wheelchair.
I'm gonna sit in the wheelchair.
You get a straight entry first of all.
Do you?
Yeah.
Amazing.
Wow.
I mean, I think we've had a really good conversation today, and I hope you guys have enjoyed meeting our 2 guests. Please let us know. Thank you very much, guys. Please let us know in the comments below or via email. Don't forget to add Dom on Instagram. She's there. She's well hidden, but she's there. She's an influencer. She's influencing something. I'm not sure what, but she's influencing something. But I just want to say how much I've enjoyed the conversation. It's been really great. Thank you, Taha. Thank you, Ravi. Thank you, Dom. It's great to have you guys on the podcast. Arjun, we know you're not with us today, but you'll be back next week, inshallah. And you'll be able to enjoy some conversation and share some of your insights. So I guess without further ado, I'm trying to focus on the outro. I can't see it, so I'm just going to make it up. Thanks so much for listening to our podcast. Taha was supposed to say that. Apparently, Taha, over to you.
Well, thank you for listening to the Art of Experience. And Ravi is gonna say the next sentence. Which
is it? Okay.
Ravi can't see
God. If you enjoyed our show, please don't forget to like and subscribe to our YouTube channel, The Art of Experiences, and please leave your comments below. We enjoy your comments, and we try and do what you ask us to do.
And like.
And like and subscribe and follow us.
Share it with your friends. Be nice. Now there is a yellow. I am yellow, by the way, on the script. So it does say.
Are you?
Yes.
Okay.
It does say. It does be careful. Easy, tiger.
I'm gonna go for his mouth.
It always all goes so well until that point.
Okay.
Oh dear, where were we? Right. What does it say? Please join us on our next podcast when we'll be joined again by our friend and fellow troublemaker Arjun, and hopefully by these two lovely people if they'd like to join us. But Dom won't fit because she'll been at Expo eating all the food. So we'll be talking next week about Arjun's trip to India. He's in India this week, and he'll be giving us a little bit of insight about what he found, what he saw, what he heard. And some of the vibe that's happening over there in India. So from all of us to all of you, thank you so much for your time. Thanks for listening. Stay safe, and we'll look forward to speaking to you next week.
Bye-bye.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Thank you.